So I think we'll switch it up. I might do some soft-spoken and some whispering, but this is a video I've been wanting to do for a bit now. If you're new here, every Thursday we do HIVE advice. So it's where any of you guys that's in our collective, if you guys have anything you're going through or you want to celebrate, we all come together during a live, and your other bees in your hive, everyone in this channel, they basically help give advice for the people in this channel. It's a really great way of us all like connecting, and I love it. That's what inspired this video. I wanted to go to Reddit, and basically I looked up this thread. It says, it's this question: what's the single best piece of advice you've ever heard? Now, I don't know if you have anything in mind, the best ones that you've heard, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of go through these and see, hopefully, if any of these will help you out in any part of your life. So sit back, relax, let's get into it. I'm going to go from the most popular down. So the ones that have the most ups, I will read, and then we'll go further down and we'll see how long this video is. I also thought we can talk about some of the best advice and see if they hit home. As always, if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Helps us grow. We just got to 2,000 bees in this hive. I would love for you to join. Anyone else? We're looking for good people, and yeah, people that want to grow and stuff. Okay, but let's just get into it. Also, comment your what are your thoughts on this? What's your favorite one? Okay. What's the single best piece of advice you've ever heard? The first one: to know who your true friends are. To know who your true friends are, look for the ones who say good things behind your back and bad things to your face. To know who your true friends are, look for the ones who say good things behind your back and bad things to your face. Underneath this it says, true friends stab you in the front. Okay, here's the second one. The grass isn't greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. Don't spend life daydreaming about what could be in a different place or circumstance. Instead, invest your energy in what is right in front of you and see how it can be cultivated into something beautiful. It's funny, there's a comment underneath this that says the grass is greener on the other side, but that's because it's fertilized with bullshit. Someone says that's their new favorite quote. Here's another one. You can catch more flies with honey than vinegar, but a big old pile of bullshit attracts the most. That's funny. Okay, here's the next one. Some Redditor from a similar thread a few months ago posted how his boss always seemed totally at peace in a high-stress environment. Totally chill, no matter how messed up things got. When he asked him about it, the boss said, "Someday, someone you love will die, and everything else will seem totally irrelevant." Someday, someone you love will die, and everything else will seem totally irrelevant. Totally morbid way of saying life is too short to be mad, sad, stressed all the time. But it gets to the point, and it's stuck in my head. These are very This was from my geometry instructor when I was a sophomore in high school. He was the kind of guy who spent 80% of class time discussing mathematics and 20% talking about life. He was an excellent teacher and one hell of a human being. The goal, I think, of parents in the area where I grew up was a kind of steely-eyed stoicism. Conceal your anger, ignore your lust, show no fear, show no weakness, be strong, 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 being awash in hormones. I could do none of those things, and I was beating myself up constantly. I think most kids in school were under the same pressure. His advice hit me right between the eyes. The experience of emotions is outside our control, but our response to them is not. Don't be ashamed of a feeling, but be ashamed if you act like an ass because of the feeling. That idea changed everything for me. I passed his insight on to my kids, and I still apply it to my own life decades later. Thanks, Coach, wherever you are. The comment below says, look up the poem Guest House by Rumi. I think you'll like it. And then someone posted the poem, so let's just read that. This is the poem. It's called The Guest House. And it's about that idea of don't worry about controlling your emotions. Your actions matter. Choose your actions instead. So this is the poem. It says, The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them all in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Okay, here's the next advice. Are you ready? Be the person you needed in life. Oh, that one hits. Be the person you needed in life. Whoa, that one's a big one. That's a really, wow. I like that one a lot because I think it means, like, do you ever feel like this where, like, in life you're kind of like always searching for someone, you're searching for someone to resolve something, to fix something, to, like, give past your traumas, to make you complete. And this is literally saying that that person that you are always looking for, the person you are always looking for, be that person. They're not going to show up. You are meant to want to be, you're meant to want to find that person because that's who you're supposed to be. So be the person you needed in life. It's good. Here's another piece of advice. You don't get paid based on how hard you work. You get paid based on how hard you are to replace. Okay, here's the next one. When I was about 15, I answered an ad in a local paper about an elderly quadriplegic man needing assistance. Private care, CNA type stuff. Worked for him for the next 5 or 6 years. Fred, got into a car accident when he was in college, 1954 if memory serves correct. Broke his neck, severed his spine, paralyzed from the neck down. He said he had two options: sit under the oak tree on his family farm and wait for death, or make something of himself. He became a state legislature, inventor, and advocate for the disabled. He told me a story about how he was going back to school after the accident, how he was struggling. One of his professors told him, "The only measure of a man that matters is from the eyes up." Still sticks with me after all these years. The hardships he went through, the struggles he had, the unbridled success he had anyway. Love you, Fred. Rest in peace, friend. Miss you, old man. Oh, I love that. The only measure of a man that matters is from the eyes up there. Next one. No one who is great at something was always great at it. No one who is great at something was always great at it. And then this is a comment. It's the same thing, but it's funny. In quotes, it says, "Dude, totally sucking at something is the first step at being sort of good at something." From Jake. A master has failed more times than a beginner has even tried. Amateurs practice until they get it right. Masters practice until they can't get it wrong. Oh, I love that one. Amateurs practice until they get it right. Masters practice until they can't get it wrong. Here's the next one. Anything that annoys you when you're dating, you're going to get from both barrels when you're married. Anything that annoys you when you're dating, you're going to get from both barrels when you're married. Adding on to this, it says, freaking communicate with one another. Good stuff, hard stuff, little things, just talk it out. Something like 95% of all the hurt in my marriage, which there's not a lot, thank the Lord, comes from misunderstanding and lack of communication. Okay, here's the next one. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Don't sweat the petty things, and don't pet the sweaty things. Here's another one. Think of people as if they were actors in a play. The ones who play the part of the asshole are going to go on stage, do an asshole thing, and walk out. Don't let them make you angry. It's just the part they play in your life. I love that. Everything is a movie. Everything is a play. There are supposed to be people that annoy you. There's supposed to be people that you want to love. There are supposed to be people that are friends. That's just who they are in your life. You don't need to change them. In order to get something you never had, You have to do something you've never done. In order to get something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. Something my mother taught me at a young age. The person in control of any relationship is the person who cares about it the least. The person in control of any relationship is the person who cares about it the least. I found that to be true whether we are talking about employer-employee relationships, husband-wife relationships, friends, or any for that matter. That's really good advice. The person in control of any relationship is the person who cares about it the least. Sorry, I was about to sneeze. Whoa. From Dune, from the movie Dune, it's a quote. It says, "He who can destroy a thing controls a thing." He who can destroy a thing controls the thing. Okay. Here's the next one. Don't prepare the road for your kids. Prepare your kids for the road. Got this gem after joking about the cat going to live on a farm, and they are 100% correct. Kids need to see how the world really works, especially since you are there to comfort them and help them through it. If you shield them until they are out on their own, they are going to have an extremely hard time. It must be so hard raising kids. Letting kids go, knowing what the world is like. It's not all roses and glam. It's not all happy times. And knowing that your kid, after going through it, knowing your kids are going to go through that, I can't imagine how hard that is. Here's another one. Never put Dawn dish soap in the dishwasher. I did that. Warren Buffett had some awesome bits of wisdom yesterday on CNBC. Rest in peace. He said one of them was, you can always tell someone to go to hell tomorrow. Basically, wait to cool down a bit before reacting to someone. Here's another one. Every person you meet has lived an entire life before that moment. Remember that. Whoa. Every person you meet has lived an entire life before that moment. Remember that. Someone said it from that. They said, and you will never know their lives. And underneath that, someone said, and vice versa. To many people, all you are is a stranger in the background of a photo that they look at every once in a while. Here's another one. My dad said, if you don't like what you're doing, do something else. He went to McGill after World War II and took engineering. He graduated and started working construction for a big civil company in Montreal. He met my mother on a construction job in a small town in Ontario. They married and the kids started to come along. construction slowed down, he went to work in mining and stayed there for the rest of his career. He retired early and never worked again. Apart from taking up writing, the whole time he had wanted to be a journalist. That's hard. So he did mining and then he never became a writer. I follow his advice. I've quit a job on a Wednesday and started another on a Friday. Late last year, I quit a well-paying job and moved to another for about the same pay, but with the opportunity to work on technical projects I've been interested in for years. Life's too short. You spend too much time at work to not be doing something that interests you and that you find rewarding. Yeah, I agree. Getting drunk is easy. Having a life takes work. The only time you look in your neighbor's bowl is to make sure that they have enough. You don't look in your neighbor's bowl to see if you have as much as them. I think that's a quote from a TV show. Here's another one. Don't be afraid to half-ass it. If the choice is between half-assing it or not doing it at all, half-ass it all the way. It changed my life, learning to pace myself and deal with things that I can't just jump into. I love that. Just do it. We're all gonna suck at it. Here's something. Underneath that says, it was an hour before I had to go to work and my girlfriend's dad told me about a cool job opportunity, but I had to apply today. I couldn't find my resume and I had just factory reset my PC so Office wasn't installed. I knew I didn't have enough time to make a resume, but said fuck it and found a fast and free online tool. I finished it within about 5 minutes to spare. I attach it to an email, but don't know what to write in the email. I end up just writing girl's dad's name, told me to send you my resume, and shot it out before heading to work. The guy tried to call me, but I typed my phone number, so he emailed me back telling me to call him. I called and scheduled an interview and got the job. That was the worst email resume application I had ever sent, and it got me the best job I've ever had. Someone else said this is amazing. This quote, or that advice to half-ass it. This is amazing help to people with anxiety and depression. Seriously, been there. A depressive episode or a panic attack can leave everything feeling daunting and overwhelming. And you can become so self-conscious that you think you're gonna fuck up anything you try. So you do nothing. Dishes don't get done, laundry doesn't get done, trash doesn't get taken out, you don't breathe or eat. Half-assing it can be a lifeline at times like this. Doing some of the dishes is way better than doing none. Getting just enough clothes cleaned so you have something to wear to work a couple days is fine. You'll get to the rest. Eating some ramen is better than eating nothing. I don't know about you, but I've had moments where all I would eat is ramen. I just couldn't make food. Half-assing it is damage control until you get a bit better. Oh, I love that. Here's another one. You either get shit early in life or you get shit late in life. Either way, you're going to get shit. My favorite one my mom ever says is, well, there's two. I'll tell you one for my mom, one for my dad. My mom's favorite quote is, if you're either gonna, she's on a plane and this was before she decided to go to medical school. She was on a plane back to home to St. Louis, and a man next to her on the plane, they started talking, and he gave her the best advice of her life. He basically said, you're either going to work really hard now and enjoy life, or you're going to enjoy life now and work really hard. Something along the lines saying that in one point in your life, you're going to have to work your ass off. It's going to be really uncomfortable. Do you want to do it now when you're young, or do you want to do it when you're older? you can't get out of it. You're gonna have to work hard. When do you want to do it? And she was like, I'm gonna work hard young and then enjoy older life. My dad's favorite quote, my favorite quote from my dad is this. It's like use obstacles like fire does as fuel. do what fire does to obstacle. View obstacles as fire does fuel. I love that one too. Okay. Here's another one. Your freshman year of college, try to live in the dorms, even if you have other options, and leave your dorm room door open whenever you're home, and not sleeping, studying, or masturbating. It's how you will make the friends you keep for the rest of your life. I love that. It's true. Open your doors. I think that with anything in life. Let life in. If you willingly associate with people of poor character, you deserve what happens next. It's better to be alone than in bad company. Here's a funny one. Jerk off before making any big choices. That's so funny. This was another quote. It says, my mom said, don't make promises when you're happy and don't make decisions when you're angry. But she never brought up horny, so this is pretty spot on. Okay, here's another one. Enthusiasm is learned. Had a big heart-to-heart with a college professor right before graduating about how I don't know what I want to do or what my dream career is. Her response, nobody does. Those people who say they do, don't. Find a job. You'll learn to become passionate about it, whatever it is you're doing. Of the 3 people who graduated that semester with physics degrees, I'm the only one who's ended up with a decent job in my field out of college. I found an imperfect job and learned to be passionate about it. They call me lucky, but I know the truth. Someone said, this is so true. I grew up thinking I would be destined for one true great calling, but now I find jobs that don't look perfect but have qualities I enjoy. Looking back, I realized I loved every single one, and it is because I learned to live in the moment, find happiness wherever I landed, see the good in people, see the fun in work. Those are how you remain sane and happy. It's true. Sometimes I get confused though. If you can find happiness in any job, why wouldn't you take the job that makes the most money? Is there a limit to how you can find? I don't know. But I like that. Here's another one. Stop blaming other people for your problems and take responsibility for yours. Stop blaming other people for your problems and take responsibility for yourself. One for me was just spend less than you make and actively save. Simple but life-changing. Someone said, always sound the floor. It is a firefighting saying to use a tool to make sure the floor can hold your weight, but it has helped me throughout the other parts of my life too. Sometimes the best option is to chuck it in the fuck it bucket and move on. I love that. Sometimes the best option is to chuck it into the fuck it bucket and move on. I love that. Fuck it. Yeah, it's like whatever happened. Here's another one. The answer is always no until you ask. If someone is trying to bring you down, it only means you are above them. Really helped me through my elementary, middle school days of being bullied. If someone is trying to bring you down, it only means you're above them. Always let her decide if she's out of your league. An old baseball coach told me never pass up a chance to be. These are going to get a little funnier because these are the less. This is funny. Live in reality as it is, not as you wish it was. This little snippet really changed how I approached life in my early 20s. Live in reality as it is, not as you wish it was. That is something I need to work on. I keep thinking I'm living in a life that maybe is not the actual life I'm living in. You know, talked about that in our lives. It's interesting. It is by going down into the abyss that we recover the treasures of life. Where you stumble, there lies your trouble, your treasure. I think this could be the last one. Your success in life is largely dependent on how many uncomfortable conversations you're willing to have. My former boss told me this when I was denied re-enrollment to my university to finish my degree. He encouraged me to take a day off from work, drive down to the university, and negotiate with them in person about the ordeal. Being a very non-confrontational person, I would never have done this on my own. Sure enough, I spoke to the offices about it, and I was able to enroll. He later used this line again when he had to lay me off because of financial constraints. But thanks to the same advice, I was planning on leaving work anyways to attend school full time. I'll do more. Never make someone a priority who only makes you an option. And this is the last one. Oh, actually two. This will pass. It may pass like a kidney stone, but it shall pass. This too shall pass. And the last thing is, my dad told me this, and I hold it true to it. Don't do anything you feel you'd have to lie about later.